Drag Racing Fan, Monday Morning Racer live, Thursday nights, as well we try to always be, whether I'm in or out of the studio, at the track, or here at the strutmasters.com headquarters. To do what? To talk about drag racing. Why? Because this is Between the Slicks, where we can talk about it all. When was the last time you had a guy that drives a jet truck on a drag racing talk show? Well, that is what we're going to have tonight. Later on, our guest, Rick Kopp, he drives that bone shaker jet truck machine. Definitely looking forward to chatting with him. Haven't really been able to chat with anyone that is sitting in front of or next to those jet engines, and looking forward to have his perspective on drag racing and what it is like operating in the world of exhibition racing to some extent, and what his hopes and dreams with the sport are, and what he would love to see. He's been in drag racing for a long time, and definitely looking forward to talking with him. Rob, good to have you in tonight. Folks, there is a lot to talk about in the world of drag racing. So, a little bit of news for you. Holley, you know those carburetor folks, Holley carburetors, they have acquired AEM Performance Electronics. And the portfolio of Holley and that brand grows that much larger. Holley EFI, APR, Earl's Performance Plumbing, Flowmaster, Gear FX Driveline, Hans, Hooker, Hilleborn, Fuel Injection, MSD, Nitrous Oxide Systems, Racepack, Simpson, STS Turbo, and more are under that banner now. That can be good news for drag racers if, as a whole, there is the mentality that we're going to put out a quality product, we're going to have great customer service, and we're going to help hot rodders, and we're going to help racers. That can also be detrimental to the racers and hot rodders if they say, hey, we just want your money. We just want your money. What's up, MMR? You the man. Hey, Going Bracket Racing, thank you. Appreciate that, guys. Check out Going Bracket Racing, their YouTube channel. They've got some great information on just that, bracket racing. Destroyer 1320. Hey, MMR, have a great show. Thank you, man. Hope you've been having some great shows as well. Guys, check out Destroyer 1320. Racepack may see a big change now. Definitely, man. And also, I know with like Joe Morrison, for example, there are other entities wanting to come across from Europe over into the American market and get into American racing. Paul, Mike Smith. Mikey, man, hope you're doing well. Thank you for hopping on the show tonight. Good to see you. Definitely looking forward to seeing you at the track next time. I imagine that will be Atlanta. Enjoy it until we see you, man. Sam, let me bring you in real quick. Hey, man, love everything you're doing Between the Slicks, Power Hour, and Strip Side. Yeah, folks, new show, Strip Side. Definitely trying to work that out, that after each national event, NHRA national event that I'm at, have the winners on, chat to them real quickly, and get raw updates from the winners of NHRA national events. Thanks to Elon Werner for helping me out with that. They're going to make a movie about you one day. Well, hopefully they cut out some ugly cow dung moments, because there was a lot of that 2 years ago. That's a whole nother story in it of itself. And you mentioned the Fuel Harley. I got to get that worked out with Mike Ashley and get on that Top Fuel Harley for sure. Lewis Lee chimes in and says, hey guys, Rick is going to be a great guest. Good PPI. Yes, hey, looking forward to talking to Rick for sure. Going Bracket Racing chimes in. Strip Side is going to be very cool once the kinks are worked out. No doubt MMR will get it up and running quickly. Yeah, once we get everybody used to, hey, you got to go spend some time with MMR on Strip Side, it's going to be a rocking show. And I felt like drag racing, especially NHRA, has needed something like that. And I hope it grows to become something that is pre and post race. NASCAR for many years has done so much better in their PR and their media, and they've had the outlets to do it. And I remember watching Trackside. You'd have Darrell Waltrip and Steve Burns and others on the show, and you get drivers come on and they talk about what is happening in the racing world. They just have a good time. And that's something I hope it builds to, but for NHRA drag racing, I think it is definitely needed. And mind you, I always want to try to keep a flair of remembering the smaller teams. The smaller teams, they help me get me where I'm at right now, and I think they still have some of the best stories there are. Right now, interviews for Bobby Bodie and Greg Carrillo are up on the Facebook side of Monday Morning Racer. Yes, you can follow Monday Morning Racer on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can follow on Instagram and Twitter as well. Please be sure to do that, folks. By the way, hit the like button and share the broadcast right now. Let's talk some drag racing. The NMRA, they announced a all-female true street division that will take place June 10th through 13th at Norwalk, Ohio for an upcoming race that they have going on. True Street for the ladies. I think that's a great idea. If it's a truck, if it's a Mustang, whatever it might be, bring it out, race it for the ladies. I think that is great. Dwayne mentions need more Sega. Don't worry, I haven't forgot about Sega. And my condolences again to Quayne Stott, his family, and Cynthia's family, and the whole Sega family with the loss there. Don't you worry. Not going to forget about Funny Car Chaos. Not going to forget about Sega. Not going to forget about those guys. I hope to have Quayne on for a quarter or halfway in the season type of interview to see where things are at with the organization. And if it fits, have some winners on from recent events as well. Thanks for having Rick and Bone Shaker on. This is way different. Cool as hell, John Day. Yes, hey, look, guys, when I started this show, Between the Slicks, I took some inspiration from that guy that does Between the Ferns, but not quite with all the comedy. I mean, I'm comedy enough as it is. Don't need no more. But Between the Slicks, it means everything. We'll talk bike racing. We'll talk jet cars. We'll talk, I don't know, if they do drag racing at the Reno Air Races somehow, we'll get those guys on too. Whatever it is, drag racing, whether or not they even have a slick, we'll do it because it's Between the Slicks. Folks, Las Vegas, I was there. First four wide, I enjoyed it, but I don't want no more than 2 4-wide events. I frankly would be in favor of just 1 4-wide event and rotate between Charlotte and Las Vegas markets. Why not turn the 4-wide into the all-star type of event as well? If there was one individual, it was Bobby Bennett. He chimed in on Tuesday night in the Competition Plus Power Hour. Line up Top Fuel, Funny Car, Pro Stock, and Pro Mod in the lanes and have a runoff for the all-star race. I think that's a pretty good idea. You got walls in between them, and I think that would work out. That would be insane. I don't know how they would figure out that tree system and who's leaving first and who would have the fortitude not to let go of the clutch or to hang on to the brake and not mash that loud pedal before it was too late, or too soon in this case, and red light. The 4-wide, though, I liked it. It's drag racing, folks. You can't complain about drag racing. Oh, I know there's some of you out there, man, that's not real drag racing. Folks, from jet cars to bracket cars, I like drag racing, and I wish you'd get there too. Enjoy and embrace it all, because it's all good, because it's drag racing. Well, with Las Vegas, some great storylines. One that I don't think is being pointed out enough is with Tasca's win, second race of the season, Don Schumacher so far has been shut out from wins in 2021. Last year they dominated. And yes, there's less cars, so the odds are somewhat against them, but the capabilities of those teams with Matt Hagan and Ron Capps in Funny Car, extremely capable. You did see Don Schumacher Racing represented in the final. Nonetheless, They have not won yet this season. And John Force Racing has not won. Who has won? Teams that did not win last year, but were there last year and were competitive. Bob Tasca wins the second race of the year, and J.R. Todd won the Gator Nationals. As I have said, going into the 2021 season, I think we're looking at one of the most competitive seasons that we will see ever in NHRA Funny Car, and I am looking forward to the rest that we've got going on. So, folks, not only Tasca's win, I want to talk about Ricky Smith's win at Woodstock. Tricky Ricky Smith, he wins in Pro Mod. What a great thing that is. Ricky's up there. I'm not saying he's elderly, but he's certainly a senior citizen, but he's still getting it done in the world of drag racing. And what does it say about our sport, ladies and gentlemen, that we have the longevity that someone like a Ricky Smith and someone even like the Greek can continue to compete and continue to be involved and continue to interact with fans, continue to go out and win. I think that is great for the sport of drag racing that you don't see in stick and ball sports, and you only really see in, well, golf. You have a senior tour there. The good thing is there's no need for a senior tour in drag racing. The gray hairs can go up against the guys with all the color and still win. Congratulations, Ricky Smith, on your Woodstock win. Stevie Fast Jackson, he won there as well. Back-to-back wins in that outlaw realm. Looking forward to going to Pro Mod at the last Southern Nationals. I know he will be chomping at the bit, that being his home national event, to win that race. Not just qualify, but win that race. Look out for Stevie Fast Jackson at the Southern Nationals. I want to give a shout out. I know he's probably not watching. He may not see this. Ron Capps. You know, everybody was talking about Erica Enders not being in the show until the last round of qualifying, and it's like everybody's overlooked that Ron Capps wasn't in the show until the last round of qualifying, and blast down in his quad of qualifying and rockets near the top of the board, makes the show. I want to bring up a picture, and let me set the stage. This is on the return road. I really like the return road at Las Vegas. They force you to come back by the grandstands. You get a great view of the tow vehicle and the cars being pulled back after they've ran. Look, drivers, if you are listening to this and you're a driver and you don't bother to wave to the fans, start waving to the fans. They've paid a ticket. They paid to see a show. They paid to see you. Start waving to the fans. Roll down your window and wave, at least. Acknowledge those people who've spent their hard-earned money to come watch you race that drag car. But Ron Capps, I give props to him. He went beyond that. He was ecstatic to make the show, and he shared his, well, excitement. Look at this guy. He's hanging out of that tow vehicle. He's giving some thumbs up. He gave some fist pumps and cheered on with the crowd of what he was able to do, and that got a pop from the crowd, folks. Yeah, it was not full capacity. This was still qualifying, even though there was a good crowd. But I tell you what, the crowd came alive cheering for Ron Capps in that moment. And it wasn't just because it was Ron Capps. It's because he interacted with the fans. Younger drivers, take note of that. From bracket racing on up, you see a fan, interact with them. Take time. It will pay off. Let me go to the comments real quick. What's going on, big dog? Man, doing great, Kyle. Looking forward to seeing you again, man. Looking forward to seeing you again. Colton, hey, buddy. When you get done with the show, go look at the pictures I posted of the old Tucson Dragway. You'll love them. I will have to do that. Hey, speaking of when the show is done, guys, go catch my main man out. Darren Williams Jr., American Hot Rod Entertainment. He's going live right after me. He's going to have DeAndre Redfern. I hope I said that right. He is a clutch specialist on Bob Tasca. He's going to be talking about the win from Las Vegas. So American Hot Rod Entertainment on YouTube. Go check that out live right after Between the Slicks. And be sure to subscribe. All right, folks. I'm not going to look at the comments. I'm not going to look at the comments right now. I'm going to put the mouse down. I have to actually do this show while I'm trying to ask questions. I'm bringing photos in. I don't have a producer. I'm doing it all. Somehow I get it done. Thank you for being a part of it. But I'm going to put the mouse down for a little bit. And I've got something I want to talk about. You know, I might be known to get on a few soapboxes from time again, and I might be on several soapboxes with what I'm about to say. Earlier this week, there's a lot of drag racing shows right now. There's a Competition Plus Power Hour with me and Slammin' Sam. You should be watching that on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Clay Millican has a show on Tuesday nights. I believe it starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Watch him. He's had some great guests on, like Brent Kepner and Jeff Lutz and other individuals throughout the world of drag racing. Wes Buck has a great drag racing show, and that man is a wealth of drag racing knowledge. And when Wes Buck speaks, you've got to listen in the world of drag racing. Well, Wes, on this rendition most recently of the Wes Buck Show, he also had Mike Carpenter along, head honcho there at Drag Illustrated. And the title of the show was Erica Ender's Greatest Female Driver of All Time. Wes Buck went on to say that she is the greatest female driver of all time. He even went so far to say, you're insane to debate it. Go watch it. He said, you're insane to debate it. Well, Wes Buck and everybody else out there in the drag racing world, I'm right here to say that the Monday morning racer, Lee Craft, is insane enough to debate it. Because I think, Wes, you're wrong. She is not yet the greatest female racer, driver of all time. Now, I say that as a Erica Enders fan. I am a huge fan. Love me some Erica. Matter of fact, one of the first interviews I ever got at Atlanta Dragway, starting this thing called the Monday Morning Racer, it was Erica Enders. And she's always treated me great, and I appreciate that. And thank you, Erica. Nonetheless, I don't think you can give her the greatest of all time when it comes to female drivers. You can go ahead and rank Erica, I think, top 5 easily, if not top 3 of pro stock drivers. I will give you that right away. But ladies and gentlemen, I do believe in the world of drag racing, we do have the claim to fame of the greatest female driver that the world has seen. And yes, and I imagine you know what the name I'm going to say, whether infamous or famous, whether fan or you despiser, Shirley Muldowney is the greatest female driver, racer of all time as it stands right now. And this is my case. And let me state my case, and we'll bring our guest on right after that. Remember, Shirley Muldowney did it in a day and time where she had to be the pioneer. She had to make the way. There was no other anyone else. There wasn't a Christian Powell. There wasn't a Leah Pruitt. There wasn't an Erica Enders. There wasn't any other females to hobnob with and rub shoulders with. No, she had to pioneer and make the way. One, historical context of the culture of that time. What about the racing culture? Yeah, you may look at her stats and go, well, she only has 18 national event wins. Yeah, she did 18 national event wins when they sometimes weren't even racing for 10, 11 wins, 10, 11 races in a season. Folks, you got to remember, there hasn't been always 20 plus races a season. You got to remember, she was racing in a time where they went and they still had to, on occasion, do regional points as a top fuel driver, not just worry about national event wins. And what about the one-off wins? Yeah, things like the World Door Slammer Nationals, they're not new. Maybe big, maybe fresh, but there were events like Popular Hot Rodding. They had a Nitro Fest that she won back-to-back and was the first one to do that. Oh, talking about back-to-back, she was the first to do back-to-back championships in the NHRA, and she has 3 championships to her credit. Folks, not only that, she is an AHRA champion. wins there, wins in the IHRA, and she did it her way. You know that song by Frank Sinatra, I did it my way. I won't sing no more. She did it her way for sure, and whether it cost her or it advanced her, she did it her way. Over it all, folks. Over the wins, over the culture, over the pioneering. 1984, Montreal. Explosion in the shutdown area. Tire gets wrapped up into the steering. No wall to protect her going off in the ditch head first. Almost killed. Surgery after surgery after surgery. By chance, as it were, providence, I think. The right doctor gets to her. She's out of the car for, I'm not mistaken, years. Comes back and does win after that and has a career into the mid, arguably late 90s in Top Fuel. I saw her as I was leaving the Drag Racing International Hall of Fame before the Gator Nationals, and there is a distinct hobble from the greatest female racer of all time. And before we go to our guest, I want to say one more thing. Concerning stats, concerning her career, ESPN, you think that's worth noting in the sports world? ESPN has a list of the top 25 drivers ever. Guess who ranks on that list? Shirley Muldowney. And as I skimmed that list, I believed she was the only woman on that list. Oh, is there room on that list for others? And will that list change in time? I believe it will. But right now, the queen is Shirley Muldowney. That list of 25 drivers had names like Antron Senna, Dale Earnhardt, Faggio, Mario Andretti, Kel Yarborough, Richard Petty. Folks, before you make claims, you might want to take a look into some stats and put things in historical context. I believe Erica will earn the title of greatest of all time. But I don't think she's there quite yet. But it will be a wonderful ride to watch her get there. And I say all of that before we bring on our guest tonight as an individual who's not really a Shirley Muldowney fan. Let me say something about fandom. There's nothing wrong with you being a fan of a driver. But do not let fandom or the lack of being a fan get in the way of reality. I'm not a Dale Earnhardt fan, but I recognize he's one of the greatest of all time. That's what I mean. Take an honest, sobering look at it all. Bring it together, and then make a decision. Well, let's make this decision, ladies and gentlemen. Let's bring on Rick Kopp, our guest. I definitely want to talk to this guy. Like, why in the world do you put a jet engine behind you on the ground? And maybe I get a ride with him. He's got an extra seat in there. We'll figure it out. This break, and Rick is on live here on Between the Slicks. Power-Built Tools exemplifies innovation in the tool industry. From hand tools, power tools, and even tool storage. Check out powerbuilt.com for Power-Built Tools. And remember, use promo code MMR15 for 15% off at purchase. Rick, man, how's it going?
What's up, man? What's happening?
Man, I am doing good, doing good. You got anything you'd like to throw in concerning greatest of all times while we're at it?
Ooh, man, that's a tough one, but I got to tell you, Shirley McDowney, she had it tough, man. She had it rough back in the day. There was nobody wanted to help her, and yeah, it was tough. It was really tough back then. No sponsorship money, nobody to help you. Had to fight to get licensing. Had to fight for everything. Today, we don't really need to do that. We can just, if someone's got money, you can just go and race.
Definitely, definitely. Well, folks, for folks that may not be familiar, Rick, give me the rundown. Like, where are you coming out of? What's your age? How long you been in drag racing? And then we'll go into some particulars because you've been in the nostalgia funny car ranks and top dragster, and definitely want to talk about that. We'll bring those photos up later.
So my age, let's just start at 25 and leave it at that. How's that sound? Okay, because really that's not important. I'm out of Ontario, Canada. So I'm about 30 minutes from Buffalo, New York on the Canadian side.
All right, I've been up that way before, Toronto several times, and interesting, fascinating city. Used to live outside of Rochester, New York, a little place called Hamlin.
There you go.
Definitely familiar with the area. So how do you plan on getting across the border and hiding that big holler as it goes across?
Well, if to our understanding right now, I mean, we've got all the paperwork in line. Also, if it's a bonded carrier, we can get across. So we'll be coming out for the end of June, 1st of July.
All right, good news, man. Well, I'm going to bring up a video. I want to go ahead and well, I'll tell you what. We'll hang on to that. Let's go into the drag racing background. We'll save the juicy stuff for later. We'll get to the truck. We'll get to the truck. Yep. But I don't know too many people who start with jet dragsters and trucks and funny cars. There's a couple, but I don't know many. Usually they start somewhere else, or his name fails me. The gentleman that pilots the quarter pounder jet funny car, he was in the family that was doing that, so kind of born into it. But where does drag racing start for you? Where do you get the bug, and bring us up to the top dragster days?
Cool. It all started with my dad. He's the one that I have to blame for all of it. As every kid, you always want a a go-kart or a motorcycle or something like that. And I bugged them that I wanted a go-kart, and they got me into motocross. So once that was at 10 years old, and then from there, it was 6-7 years of racing and competitive racing in motocross. But my father was always a gearhead, and just your street racer guy, a Hemi car, just a lot of fun. Just everybody had something really cool back in the day, and I got the bug from that, and from there, the rest is history. My first door car was a 1978 Camaro Z28 and 354 speed. Go out there, we put a scatter shield in it, and just went out there and had fun. And then from there, I went to another Camaro, which was Super Pro, and hung in with that for a couple years. Then we got into boats. We got into offshore boats. So I went away from everything, and we got into offshore boats for about 2 to 3 years. And then I went right back to racing, drag racing again.
All right. So what is the home track for you at this point? Is it Cayuga?
I mainly go up to Grand Bend.
Okay. Yeah. Grand Bend, definitely well-known track in drag racing world and history. And yeah, what was the time like on the water? I assume Lake Ontario or another smaller lake?
Yeah, we do Lake Ontario, Muskoka. So a lot of it was just all the poker runs. It was really big back in the day up here. I think it was Power Boating Magazine that ran the whole program. So we had a lot of fun doing that. That was a hoot.
I've got to ask, compared to on land racing with the water racing, which one was more expensive? I've always thought water racing is more expensive than on land. So what were your thoughts?
Well, yeah. I mean, offshore boat racing is huge money. I mean, you can have a single or twins or triples. We ran 540 Bulldogs back then, and with TRS outdrives, and I mean the boat would run. It was a 33-foot Sonic, and we would run around 90 to 100 depending on the weather. And so it was quick enough.
Yeah, people do not realize on the water there gets a point where that is as hard as concrete depending on the speed. And folks, look, if you're out there, just take a quick history dive into the people who have attempted the water speed record over land speed record and the fatalities going from water to land. It is a huge lopsided affair when you look at the water situation. And the last man to do it, to set the record, the Australian, he's working on another boat, but he hasn't done it in a long time because he's like, yeah, I was crazy.
Yeah, you have to be. I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, 100 miles an hour, and you're most of the time out of the water. You're picking your waves. You're on and off the throttles, and there's a lot going on.
Definitely a lot going on. And, unlike even, a dirt track changes throughout a race, but an asphalt track stays similar, though it has transition. I mean, water's changing all the time.
Absolutely.
It's not constant at all.
No.
So, yeah,
No.
wow. I don't blame you for going back to land, though you had your sea legs for a little while. So
Absolutely.
talk to me about which comes first, Top Dragster or the Nostalgia Funny Car, or at the same time?
No. One at a time. So we ran back then. It was a quick 32 program up here, and it was a great deal we had for about. I think it was around for about 5 or 6 years. And I went through a couple dragsters at that time, but at the end of it all, that one right there. I don't know if that's the one I was running, the Hemi Veni. Maybe it is. Yeah, that's the car. And that car used to run 6.0s at 240 pretty much every day, right out of the box. It was fast, and we're always number one qualifiers. We did really well, though, with that car.
Well, man, I'm gonna bring it back up. I love the body styling on this dragster. It's wicked, man. It looks good. I like it. I hadn't seen anything quite like it in a long time. It's got an old school vibe to it, the way that y'all had it bent out there.
Yeah, that's one of the old boss cars, and it was super light. We added a couple bars on it just for strength, ability, and whatnot, but that car was dead true. That thing went down Broadway every time. It was great.
Man, I truly believe that Top Dragster is way underrated.
Oh, yeah.
They are I mean, you don't have as long as wheelbase as something like a Top Fuel Dragster, so it is it is a shorter wheelbase. You've got some of these guys have wings, but like, what is the wing even really doing at times? And as you said, sixes, and now they're even further down now and running faster speeds. It is wild what is happening in Top Dragster today, and they are no class to sleep on whatsoever.
No, I mean, that car there that you see, that was a 2-speed glide in that car. So there was no clutch, no nothing. And then we're running, like I said, 6.0s, and that was all the time. So, and, we didn't really have a lot of electronics, even though you could, but we just pretty much tuned it by the plug, the old school days. And it worked. It was great.
All right. So what I can tell is it seems like it with Mr. Kopp, a chase of adrenaline and getting the next adrenaline shot higher than the other, from motocross to go-kart to on the water, because you go from Top Dragster and eventually you get in this thing, what body is this and what year is it modeled after? This is a wicked looking nostalgia machine, man.
Man, I'll tell you what, that thing, it was a 1980, the whole frame was a 1985. And it was called Hollywood Nights. It was a 1971 Plymouth Satellite. And we ran 85% nitromethane in it, and we had a blast. for a couple seasons. We just campaigned it around Canada. We couldn't be competitive into, anything big time. So we just thought we would take a walk in the park with a little bit of nitromethane, and we had a blast, man.
So talk to me. Do you still have that at all, or has it been long gone?
No, actually, as a matter of fact, that went up for sale, and we sold it to a gentleman overseas. Last time I ever saw it, that was it. Yeah.
Wow. It's fascinating. The Pacino's, John Pacino in Mountain Motor Pro Stock, John sold a car that went over to a friend of mine. He's passed away this year, Neil Hunter, who was a very successful British drag racer. It's fascinating how much makes its way across the pond.
Yeah. I don't know. Everybody just, even old cars right now. I was just reading about it. I mean, people are buying them up from the U.S. and Canada, and they're being shipped overseas, left, right, and center, and they're never coming back. So I know the money is good. Somebody's giving you 50 grand or 100 grand for whatever hot rod you got, but you got to remember that in 10 years from now, you'll never ever see that car.
Right. Sure.
And once upon a time, back in the day, I mean, if you wanted a Chevelle, a Beaumont, you wanted this, you want whatever you wanted, you pretty much just picked up the paper. Back then, there was no internet. Take a look. I am over 25, a little bit, not much, just a little bit. And then you just buy another one. But that's just not the case anymore.
Definitely not. Well, man, look, we've come up through from motocross and out of the funny car. About time we get down to the nitty gritty of what you're doing now. We talk about you having that jet engine behind you in that truck. I'm gonna play a video and then let's talk about it, man.
Okay, man. Let's.
All right, Rick, first question. And it just, I mean, one word. I got, usually I've got thought out questions. Just why? Why?
Okay, you know what mine's going to be? Why not? Dude, I'm going to tell you what. You just played down. I'm sitting there and I'm watching that. I drive it. I own it. I drive it. I just get excited even just watching that. I mean, it's over the top. It really, truly is.
Man, it is. Now, I've seen jet cars. I can remember Atlanta Dragway, first time I ever saw jet cars, jet dragsters, and in the little garage behind the home in South Carolina, I've got a piece. It's technically my brother's. I may have to steal it from him, but when I say this, I know you'll recognize and you'll remember. I have a piece of the door from the Lava Jet funny car after it wrecked. Yeah, it's
really?
hanging. Yeah, I do. I have that piece. It's there. Yeah, and so love jet cars of all types. And dude, you've got like the biggest engine on wheels I've ever seen out of all of them. What is it? And do you have the largest? And why that big?
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna give you a little bit of a background story. So I got into jets back quite a few years ago. We're campaigning actually the Nitro Funny car. There was another gentleman there with a jet car, and he was laughing at us as we're pulling the clutch out and we're doing this and whatever, and we're up to here in grease and dirt and whatever. And my girlfriend and I, we kind of looked over and said, maybe that's the way to go. Low maintenance, something fun, something different. So that's how it started. The seed was planted. And then about a year after that, one came up for sale. It was down in Florida. So we flew down there. We took a look at it, and we purchased it. And we brought it back. And what did I know about jets? Absolutely nothing. Nothing. So we truck it back here to Ontario, and the jet was hurt. It had a problem with it.
Rick, wait.
Okay.
There has to be a story of trying to get across the border. There has to be someone like, what is this? What have you bought?
Yeah, like what is going on here? Oh, this is a jet truck. The heck is a jet truck? And all the radiation detectors are going off, right? Because there's the turbine and everything's carrying so much. And I mean, it's like lockdown at the border. It is insane. Every time we go across, we have to allocate an hour to 2 hours, depending on who's working, because we're not getting through. Those sirens go off. It is hilarious, But then we open the doors and everybody just stares. It's like, what is this thing? It's a jet truck. What's a jet truck? So I pull out the hero cards. I give them a hero card. I explain it to them. And then they go and do their due diligence. And an hour later or whatever, we're down the highway.
Man, cool. So how did you get it? You didn't know much about it. What was the learning process like? And man, what was that first event? Where was it? What was it like?
The first event, yeah. Well, what we did is we just went out to practice. I had a buddy of mine that ran a jet car at the time, so he kind of took me under his wing. Is it Dan Parisi up here in Ontario, and he helped me out. We went out and we got it running. Now, I want you to understand this is not that. Other than the cab, everything else has been gone. The truck used to be called Pyro, and we ran a J34 in it. And it was an old truck at the time, but I think it was the right thing to do, just to get into something that, wasn't crazy and we could kind of get used to, get our feet wet. We campaigned it for about 3 years just up here in Canada. And then it was time that either we're going to build something or we're going to get out of it. And it was really hard for me to get out of it. So we built Bone Shaker.
Yeah, talk to me about the theme, Bone Shaker, the thing, you got lights all over it, wicked cool paint scheme, and dive into even the show. Like I can show the video later, but there's part of your show you're roasting a car. It's incinerated.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, that was beautiful. That was out in Mission, BC, and they came to us when we got there, and they said, "Hey, listen, what we want to do is something different. Do you mind burning down a car on the racetrack?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've never done it before, but hey, listen, you want to sign all the paperwork? Let's do it." So what they did was, no one knew, only us. And they dressed a couple guys up in crash test dummy suits, put them in a Ford Taurus and put them down the track, and they're bouncing against the walls and whatever, and came back, parked the car right behind it. Then Christine, which is my crew chief, my girl, she got the cue, and it was time to spool it up and fire it up. And we burned it to the ground.
You definitely did. You mind if we take a look at that? I've got the video.
No, let's do it. Get me excited. Yeah.
Let's take a look at this thing.
Yeah, get them guys away. It says dummy on the back. I mean, and no, wait a minute. They leave their car just sitting out there. This is ridiculous. Come on, you can't be leaving the car there. That's just not going to work. Then you have to firing up in the second gear. And, no. This is not
And that's how you waste 100 gallons of fuel.
Man, okay, look, I know as John Day says, I guess no parting out that car. Yeah, sure, no parting out that thing. And the car was a well done Taurus for sure. I've got to ask, was the walkway structurally compromised after all that?
Listen, you can see the hose that was over to, but you didn't see on the other side there was a fire truck, and he was hitting it from the other side. And if they weren't there, it would have been way worse.
Yes. It would have that would have been Norwalk, Ohio level burning down the billboard for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah, man, what's the normal run exhibition show look like? Is it oftentimes match races? Do you find yourself doing more singles? And certainly, please tell me, how do y'all set it up when you're at an air show and you have the plane and do the race? So walk me through all that.
Okay, so first off, when we're at a racetrack, what you just saw there, less the car, unless they wanted it, you're going to get exactly that. We're going to light it up and do as much fire and burner pops as we possibly can until my fuel gauge says you better get moving. So that's our show there. And then, of course, when they come back to the pits, we have a full matching hauler that's all decked out like Bone Shaker with all the lights that flash and everything. And everybody gets free hero cards and tattoos and decals for everybody. Yeah. And that whole thing just lights up. It's pretty epic. And t-shirts, hats, tattoos, you name it, we got it. Yeah. There you go.
All right. So Rick, talk to me about this.
Okay. So that's a whole new animal when you do that. That you need to be in at least one day early, and you go through everything because everything is timed, and everybody has to know who's on the tarmac, who's not, what time. You're allowed 8 minutes, 10 minutes for your show. That's it. That's all you've got to be off. So I'm on a radio. Christine is on a radio with the airline pilot and also the air boss. So we're in full communication all the way around. And so we'll both go out there. We'll play kind of a cat and mouse deal for a few minutes. I'll do the flames, burner pops. He comes in, does a nosedive, the old Snoopy days, right? And get everybody all hyped up and angry. And then I'll go back down to the starting line, and he'll go around. And when I get the cue, now you got to understand, he's already running at least 100 miles an hour when he comes over the top of me, and then I get the go. And then I light the afterburner, and out I go. And I'll meet you at the 2,500 mark. And at that point, I'm sitting at around 325 miles an hour.
Wow. So I'm curious, have those pilots, talking to you afterwards, if they want to talk to you? I don't know. They might not want to, I mean, have they experienced like feeling some wake off the thing or anything like that?
Yeah, they say when they go over top of me and I light the burner, they can just feel the plane starting to shake because they're right above me. And this thing is a weapon. It's from an F-4 Phantom fighter jet. Yeah. So it's a lot. 18,000 horsepower, 36,000 pounds of thrust.
Wow. How does it stay on the ground? What have y'all done to do that? Talk to me. Is it just angled slightly or something like that? Okay, cool.
It's all physics. Exactly. So that jet has to be placed properly. If it's too much, you're going to drive the wheels straight down into the ground. If it's too little, the front end is going to start coming up. So it needs to be placed at a magic number.
All right, the magic number, and y'all have got that. Now, Destroyer 1320, he had a good question. Do you eat before you rip down the track?
No.
Right. So what's your preparation like before going down the track or the tarmac in this thing?
Say the last 20 minutes or so, I kind of go in the trailer and I just kind of hang out to myself, get cooled off, get everything ready. Christine and I have already done all our checks, so we know we're pretty much ready to go. And we hook up and then tow ourselves out. But eating, no. For all these years of racing, I still haven't changed any standards. I don't eat before I go out. I don't know what it is. It's just I can't.
All right.
Man.
So, man, look, take us into the world of exhibition drag racing. I'll call it that. What does it look like? How do you make the living? What on average, what's the bookings, and how many are you looking for in a year, that type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly make a very good living at doing what we do. First off, with the exhibition, I mean, everybody loves jets. Everybody loves nostalgia, funny cars, everything else that comes out. Exactly. Like when everything that they just go crazy, and one thing about a jet truck, it's different, and Bone Shaker is in a world of its own. It is the coolest, baddest, old school, drop to the ground truck. It really, truly is. I mean, everybody just loves it. And of course, we take care of our fans. It's funny, Lee, that you're just talking prior to us getting on on your show, and you're saying how important it is for the fans and paying attention to them and hanging out with them and whatever. I'm gonna tell you that we spend so much time with our fans, spectators, everybody, people that run the racetrack, whatever. We go the extra mile all the time to make sure that all questions are answered and everybody gets an autograph. And at that, let me just tell you, we had a show 2 years ago because we missed last year due to COVID down in Mexico. And Christine and I took the whole hauler and we pulled our big boy pants on and we drove all the way down there. And we had a time of our life. It was fantastic. But you want to talk about people that really go crazy and appreciate you coming down to see them and put on a show. On our last run, when when Christine pulled me back, Christine is driving the Freightliner, the M2, and I'm in the jet truck. Myself nor her could get out for at least 15 minutes due to the fact of all the people that would not let you out to wanting their autographs or picture taken. And that's the truth. Security had to be brought in to fan everybody away to at least get us out so then we could take care of everything out, take care of them. And by that time, it was 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:30 in the morning by the time we're all said and done.
That's cool. That's cool. Hey, thank you for interacting with the fans. More drivers, crews, they got to do it. I mean, look, people spent their hard-earned money to see a show and enjoy themselves. And thank you for making it special with what you're doing. Because look, jets are always cool, no matter what form or fashion they're coming into. Absolutely. Look, talk to me. The next event for you. How many events do you got? And what's the closest one you've got to North Carolina? Did that get worked out up there in Virginia? I remember us talking about that.
Yeah, we're still working right now, getting our scheduling up because the COVID has put everybody into, do I do it? Do I not? Whatever the case may be. Just off of the top of my head, due to I don't have my list on me. I've got Maryland. I got Quaker City. I think we're going to be popping down ACO again. We've got Grand Bend up here in Canada. We got a couple air shows that we've got going on. So we got Muncie. So we've got a few tracks and they keep every day, every 2 days, I'm getting the call and we're getting more and more bookings. So we still have dates available, man. Anybody wants us.
All right, guys, y'all check Rick Kopp out at boneshakerjettruck.com. Get him booked. And, man, I hope to get you on film someday soon and have you on the MMR archives.
That would be awesome. You know what? And I'll tell you what, we meet up someplace and we'll come up with something. We're going to get you in that jump seat somehow or another.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Absolutely. Well, I got me a Nitro Harley ride already set up, and I'll take a jet truck drive anytime, man.
Man.
I will take it. Well, Rick, look. I've got to shut the show down. It's been good. There's a wealth with you to continue to be digging out of, so we'll have to have you back another night.
I really, really appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on, and peace out. Be good, everyone.
Thank you,
Stay
Rick.
safe.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
That was Rick Kopp, Bone Shaker Jet Truck on Between the Slicks. What a good story, guys. Go check him out. Find him at your local drag strip. And by the way, if your local drag strip isn't having him, tell the local drag strip about him and get him out there for folks to be able to enjoy Bone Shaker. Man, I love jets. Jets are cool. I wish there was like a national competition of jets touring the country. That would just be so awesome. I think they are. There's so much more there than just exhibition runs. I think personally, I would love to see it. Would love to see it happen, Brainerd or somewhere, and have 36 jet cars show up. That would just be cool. Hey, Lou Santiago, thank you for the connection, man. If you haven't checked out Lou Santiago, the guy that was on Car Fix, Ultimate Car Build Off, that guy. Yeah, that guy. He has his own YouTube channel, Garage Insider TV. Check it out. He also has a show called Three Lefts Don't Make a Right. Been talking with some great people in car culture. Check it out on Wednesday nights. I produce the show at 8 p.m. Folks, this has been Between the Slicks. I'm the Monday morning racer. Wes Buck is wrong on Erica Enders. I'm right on Shirley Muldowney. Make sure when you leave here, check out my boy Darian Williams Jr. on American Hot Rod Entertainment. DeAndre Redfern live with him on American Hot Rod Entertainment. Go check that out and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, folks. Look for me at Atlanta Dragway at the last Southern Nationals and any other drag strip or racetrack that is out there, because I'm the Monday morning racer. God bless, and keep the pedal